So, I'm not a master cosplayer. Wait. Before you click off, just hear out this video. I might be of interest to you. Hey y'all, it's Mist. Welcome to my cosplay channel if you're new, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I see I have enthralled you with the mess that is me. Now, you've probably clicked on this video with many questions. For some, it might have been questions of, how do I become a master cosplayer? Because the title sounds like a very long tutorial. Others may have been confused by the fact that the title has the word introduction. Give me just a little bit of your time to answer these questions. I'll answer what this video is and why I'm creating this video series and what directions I am already taking with it. So just hear me out. Please have patience. I know we don't have that anymore, but come on. Just a little bit. So what? Okay, I know this is a little confusing of a video. What this video and series will become is a virtual diary documenting my experience as a competitive cosplayer. My plan for this playlist of videos is this introduction, which answers why I'm doing this and establishes the videos in this playlist moving forward. Next will be videos documenting each costume made with the intention of competing. Then there will be the vlogs of those competitions that follows the costume made. Makes sense? And then once I have moved up to the next category, there will be a video documenting what I have learned from that category that can help other people in that category possibly think about what skills they should focus on to move up from that category. So for example, a video titled, What I Learned Competing as a Novice Cosplayer, and then it would be what skills I focused on as a novice cosplayer and perfected to help me move up to intermediate journeyman category. Sounds pretty self-explanatory. The reason why I want to do this is that despite the increased knowledge and interest in cosplay competitions, it's actually very rare to see anyone document their journey from start to finish, which is why I've chosen to document mine. The ups and downs, the highs and lows, the realistic and uncut experience from beginning to end. Or as beginning as I can get, which we'll get into a little bit later. My plan is for this series to end once I manage to win a Best in Show award in any competition. Now, this is likely to take multiple years, maybe even a decade at the speed at which I create, how much progress I actually make, the size of the competition, etc., etc. The way people place or do in competitions is not linear. Anything can happen, and it can also disrupt my plan for this series, but the series will end once I get a Best in Show award. And then that video, after I receive a Best in Show award, will be overall what I've learned, what critiques I got, where I'll be going after that, and then with a bittersweet goodbye, I will get ready for a sequel! I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later though, also. So, why? Why do I want to be a master cosplayer? That's a really complicated question to answer because there's honestly a lot of layers to me as a cosplayer. I actually never imagined the world of cosplay craftsmanship for me. If you watched my old YouTube channel introduction, my ambitions and goals for cosplay always leaned more towards getting to act and doing in-character panels, which a lot of people now think are cringy. It's called cosplay! Just saying. But I always was more interested in acting and getting to play pretend with these characters. I wanted to make skits, cosplay music videos. I wanted to really play with cinema and cosplay and taking established characters and making something that was my own with them. Even though I was very heavily leaning towards the play aspect of cosplay, I did know that at some point I would want to sew my own cosplays, because I loved the idea of getting to embellish cosplays my own way and get to have that little creative touch and decisions instead of having to be 100% canon. But of course, wanting to sew does not equal entering the competition world. So why do I want to work up to being a master cosplayer? In my MetroCon 2025 vlog, I wrote a really weird yet short explanation of what sewing, cosplay, and competition has come to mean for me. So I think to explain why I want to be a master cosplayer, I need to go in depth about that story. Put plainly and bluntly, yes, Sarah Spaceman is the reason I actually took the leap to start competing. She's the reason I found out about cosplay competitions. I had no idea that cosplay craftsmanship competitions even existed, because before I found her videos, I had only been to 2 cons in my life. Her talking so highly of the competitive cosplay world is what made me want to do it. And so I took that leap in 2023. I was really struggling with feeling like I had a sense of community in cosplay, and hell, I was even struggling with feeling like I was a good cosplayer. So I felt like I really needed to give competing a try. I knew that if I didn't find what I was looking for in cosplay competition, then I never had to do it again. I at least tried it, and that would have been good enough for me. And competing gave me a deadline for relearning how to sew instead of continuing to put it off. The judges I had my first year as well were genuinely what made me want to go back and keep doing it. They were the most encouraging and sweetest people I had ever met. At the end of my first contest, when I went up to go thank them for how amazing they had made me feel, they literally said to me, I will never forget this, that they saw a lot of potential in me, and that if I just focused on my fundamentals, I could go really far. And that is what I needed to hear back in 2023. So, yes, I acknowledge the huge influence that Sarah Spaceman's videos have continued to hold over me. And I know that I would not have even thought about competing craftsmanship or performance, which is something that I have come to love very much. So it is because of her videos that I was given that push. And those judges made me want to keep going back. But there is someone else in this story who deserves a lot more credit than she has ever gotten. Growing up, my mom took it upon herself to make our Halloween costumes. My mom was my experience and exposure to sewing. And it wasn't just costumes either. She made me dresses for formal events, a suit jacket and pants for my senior photos. She even talked about possibly making me my prom dress. Now my mom uses most of her sewing skills for quilts, and it's a hobby that she's come to love very much, and I think she's very good at it. I love the quilts and the rugs and everything that she makes me. She's amazing. I love my mom. But for my whole life, my mom was the most creative person I knew, who took extra care to make something by hand for her daughters, despite the long hours she pulled at Disney. Watching my mom work inspired me. I wanted to be like her as a kid. I saw her as this costumer, this extremely creative woman who specialized our Halloween costumes in a way that people might not have expected, but I loved them. She's probably the reason why I wanted to make my own cosplays so I can embellish them however I want. It was also my mom who taught me how to hand sew, and she let me work on my own Halloween costumes from time to time with her supervision. Getting into cosplay and seeing what people would make with their hands, I think subconsciously reminded me of my mom. I wanted to do what my mom could, but for myself. But getting older, school became more demanding, and I could never find it in myself to make my own cosplays. Actually, my mom has made some of my cosplays, which I talked about in my MetroCon 2025 vlog. She's even made my sister's. I think she secretly liked it, but I didn't want to continue this way forever. I think being able to create, to sew, to learn, I feel more connected to my mom this way. And I think learning to sew and pushing myself to improve my skill sets is like taking a part of my mom and making it grander. It's like this seed was implanted in me and I am allowing it to ferment and to grow by doing this. However, becoming grander leads me into my third reason. I want to be proud of myself. I struggle with my own self-worth, and I will get into that more in a minute. But I feel like if I can just build up to the master category, I can give myself something to be really proud of. I also want to make my mom proud, again, and still that little seed. Nurtured it. Watch me grow into something better. I know that my parents have always been proud of me academically, but creatively I feel like I have always struggled. I feel like I've always fallen short. And so I want to take the skills and the love of sewing that my mom instilled in me when I was young and turn it into something she can celebrate with me. But in order to have that, I need to actually improve. And sad thing for me, I need results. I am a results person, much to my own dismay. Now, this leads into a tinier, more selfish reason than simple pride. I want to represent the US at multiple international competitions. Specifically, the Extreme Cosplay Gathering and World Cosplay Summit, which are two countries whose languages I actually am learning, which might be part of it. Okay, listen, I know, saying it out loud, I sound so prideful and selfish. Like, this goal on paper sounds really bad to just admit out loud, but I just love getting to travel, and I love cosplay, and the idea of competing internationally sounds cool as hell. I want to do that, okay? But I need to work myself up to getting there. I want to meet other cosplayers. I want the chance to talk with people I would never get to meet otherwise. So, yes, I want to go to the NCC. I want to do GCOF. I want to do ECG. And yes, I want to go to the biggest international stage, the World Cosplay Summit. And these are just the ones that I can get to easily because my parents are in Florida. And those are just qualifiers I can get to easy. I just want to try. And I think it'd be really cool. And so, yeah. Why I want to be a master cosplayer? I want to go compete internationally. I want to be proud of myself. And I want to take the seed that my mom planted in me and grow into something better, something she probably never envisioned for me. I want us to be able to celebrate that creativity. And so, this explains why this series will end when I receive a Best in Show award, because once I receive a Best in Show award, I feel like I have gotten the results needed to have the confidence to move into competitions that are international qualifiers. Makes sense? Makes sense. Okay, so now we're gonna jump into why am I documenting this? It might seem a little egotistical to want to document something like this, but actually it's not. The reason why I'm documenting this is because I struggle a lot with feeling like I belong. I've been very open about this on my social media, and I'm now being very open about it right now, but I struggle with feelings of success. I get stuck in this pattern where I just feel sorry for myself and tell myself I'm not good enough and should just quit. And I'm sure that there are a lot of other people who also struggle with this imposter-like feeling in cosplay. On the internet, we are constantly bombarded with the perceptions people want us to see. And it's easy to forget that there's an untold story as to how those people got to that point. I want this video diary series to be a documentation of the highs and lows, to show people as realistic of a depiction as I can get of my journey from novice to master. I want to reiterate what it is that I learn from judges to help those who might feel stuck and don't know where to turn. By documenting and looking back on what I've done, I also remind myself that progress is something made with each step because it'll be documented. Yes, I plan on watching my own videos. Sue me. But this series is just as much for me as it is for other people who might need this help, this feeling of you're doing everything right and you're doing your best, and that's what matters. But it can feel so difficult, lonely to fail, or to feel like you're failing and not notice how far you've come. And that is why I want to document this. Someone sewing for the first time and managing to win Best in Show, let alone any other award in your first competition, is so rare. It is extremely rare because there are so many factors that you cannot account for. You can only do your best. I think it's important for people to remember that placing is not what matters, and this video series will remind me of that. What matters is that I outdo myself with each costume. And even if I don't outdo myself, I kept going and I kept trying. And I think that's really important. It's also important to remember that you placing depends on your competition pool. It depends on the judges. It depends on how you sell yourself. There are so many factors that go into how you place, and how you do at one competition could vary differently from how you do at another one. But the easiest way to sum up why I'm doing this, I want to be someone's light and inspiration when the going gets tough, even if that person is just myself. Now that we've gotten the whys out of the way, let's talk about where in my journey I currently stand. Because I have already competed twice. I have competed in Anime Festival Orlando in 2023 and 2024. Those are my two competitions. I was supposed to compete in 2025, but I studied abroad in Japan and I was not going to finish my cosplay in time. But anyway, in 2023, I made Xiangning from Genshin Impact in 1 month. stupidest decision of my life, but honestly, I like how she turned out way better than 2024's cosplay, which was Bittersweet Patissière Miku. Why did I say it like that? I sound pretentious. Ew. Both had glaring craftsmanship issues that I was more than aware of, which not only contributed to me getting nowhere near placing, but also making both cosplays extremely uncomfortable to wear, and that's not good. I would like to remake both of them at some point. That is not today or anytime soon. Just looking at them makes me cringe and gives me flashbacks. One day, I would like to make a video where I take them apart, recycle, remake pieces of the cosplays, and recompete them, but I still need time to cope. It's been multiple years, but I still need to cope over the disasters that was that. But what have I learned from both of these instances are the need to focus on sewing fundamentals. Miku was supposed to help me focus on sewing fundamentals, but I genuinely think she ended up messier than Xiangling. I don't know how that happened, but I am currently making 2 competition pieces. Sisters Mercy Rin and Homura Akemi. They are my summer competition pieces for this year. Hopefully. I'm still waiting on MetroCon because Metro is juried. Send help and prayers that I get in. Anyway, I'm putting as much focus as I can into cleanliness because cleanliness, I think, was what shot me in the foot multiple times. Trying to master multiple techniques will come second. What I've learned after the last 2 competitions is to only include multiple techniques once you feel like you've mastered them. Well, not necessarily mastered, but once you can do them cleanly and correctly, do it. Because multiple techniques only count in your favor when they're done properly. So don't overdo it with trying to do multiple techniques. What I've also learned, and I'm taking to heart, is not giving myself a month to make these cosplays. Both times I have competed, I have given myself only a month to do it. Which means I cannot fix mistakes when they happen. And I can do better. So that's where we're currently at, but we will see how well that goes this summer. For now, we have to play a waiting game. I will hopefully have the making of videos done for Rin and Homura before AFO or their respective contests. I have a little bit longer to make Homura than I do to make Rin. But if Rin comes out after AFO, that just means I was making her to the last minute and we don't talk about it. I also already have my summer 2027 competition pieces. I don't know how many I'm doing yet, because it really depends on how much workload I have with Hall Mat, because I have a specific video for Hall Mat in mind, which doesn't require me to make things from scratch, but I do have to make cosplays, like an entire lineup of cosplays. So it depends on that. It depends on the thesis that I'm going to be working on, YouTube videos, yada yada. So I might only have to do one. But just know, it will be Twist. Whatever it is, it'll be Twisted Wonderland. Hoping for Jade, but if a certain design gets revealed soon. Oh, Jade's going out the window. No, I'm kidding. I still want to try and work on Jade, but I think I might work on both of them because Dorm Nej. Hello. I'm a really big Nej fangirl. I don't know if you guys knew that, but yeah. So I really hope that you made it to the end of this video. If you did, thank you so much. I know that this has been a yap fest and probably not that important to you, but I really do hope that you heard me out and that hopefully this series can give you inspiration or be a light in the darkness in your own competitive cosplay journey. Or maybe you're just interested in people's cosplay competitive journeys, in which case, thank you for watching this to the end. I hope you stick around for mine. This is a very long road, possibly. I really hope I didn't make this entire video and then in like 2 years I'm still in novice for some reason. Just kidding, not for some reason. It's probably a good reason. But I really hope that like in 2 years I don't accidentally win best in show and I'm like, hey, so I'm not a novice and I accidentally skipped literally everything. And then this plan would be bad. Like, this plan would backfire. This video series would just not be what I wanted it to be. Which I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. For like, it would be so cool if it happened, but I really do want this to be a good series documenting what it is like for a normal progression, I guess. Sounds what I'm hoping for. But again, hopefully you stick around, subscribe. I am in fact working on Rin. Sneak peek of what I'm doing for Rin is right here. That's actually been sitting right here. But I am working on Rin and Homoda at some point. And if you are very interested in how those turn out, I am actually competing with my little sister. We're competing as a duo. But if you are interested in this long journey ahead, hopefully it'll be entertaining, but you should totally subscribe if that is the case. But I'm gonna go for now. I hope to see you all around. I hope this video wasn't too boring. Anyway, bye! Cosplayer. Who the fuck is calling me? Bitch! I'm just not gonna answer. I'm gonna let it ring because I'm recording something. And anyway, fuck, do I have to start that over again? It might be better too.